crafty friends, and happy Woolly Wednesday. Welcome to Knitcast. If you're new here, my name is Jessie, and this is Mislaid Pages. I'm happy to meet you. If you are returning, then hi, welcome back. It's been a couple of weeks since I did a Knitcast. I was away on vacation last week, so I'm hoping this weekend to film a whip and chat where I will give you some more details about that, maybe share some pictures and all that kind of stuff. So. We will see. We will see how the weekend goes. But that is my intention right now. So we'll see. Hopefully, I'll have that for you maybe on Monday next week. We'll see what I manage to get up to this weekend. So let's get into it. So since I was on vacation last week, I didn't actually do a whole lot of knitting, but I do have a new project to show you. I decided rather than taking a project I already had going, which was kind of that's what I had originally intended to do for vacation. Instead of taking a project I already had going, I decided to start a whole new thing because why not? Why not? Part of it was several of the things that I still have going are actually larger and have multiple skeins that I need to carry with me. It would be cumbersome to try to carry on a plane and knit on a plane. So I decided to bring something that I knew I only need one skein for that would be relatively simple. And I really enjoyed starting this new project. So that's the whip I have to show you, which I will get into in a minute. Other than that, I mostly have a bunch of haul to show you. So a lot of things came in either right before I left or right after or while I was gone. So I have a lot of fun stuff to show you, and I'm really excited about it. So you'll see that this is a little bit of a different video setup than I have been doing the last few weeks, and that's largely because all I have is the one whip to show you this time. You'll get to see it in more detail in future knitcasts. But I figured this week, just because things are low key, I'm trying to get back into the swing of regular work and everything. I figured I'd make things easier on myself and just do the regular camera. But I did notice as I set this up that this really puts the it puts my hoard on display. This is not even all of it. So this is one cube, and it looks huge in this view, but this is probably not quite 50% of my stash. There's also this cube here is full of minis. So that's almost all minis, and it's almost completely full too. It's stacked up to the top here. But then there's a cube down here, and then there's a cube down here that are both about half full of yarn. So I'm only a little bit of a hoarder, a little bit. And I have more hoard to show you today. So yeah, let's get into it. So the new whip that I started, it's a pattern that I got based on the recommendation of a friend online. And I originally met this friend through LiveJournal ages and ages ago. Pardon me. So I've known this person for a long time. And they used to be really into knitting, and for a lot of different reasons. The biggest one being that they had a lot of neurological issues for several years, a lot of different health issues, but they got out of knitting for the longest time. When they got back into knitting, this is the pattern that they chose. And they said that that part of the reason that they liked it so much was because it was a fairly repetitive but still interesting pattern to work on. So I thought that would be fun. It looks really cool when it's all blocked out and everything. I've seen some great pictures of it all blocked out. And it's really kind of, I'm going to show you the picture of it here in a second. And it's really kind of, it's done with a chunky weight, or not chunky weight, but like Aran weight or DK weight. But it's still kind of delicate and flowy looking. So the pattern is called Lichen. I'm going to try not to show you any of the actual chart, but that's what it actually looks like. So it's all kind of ruffly and flowy and really spiffy looking. And it's designed for an Aran weight or a DK weight. It's got instructions for both. Pardon me, I have to cough. So it's got instructions for both. And I'm actually doing the DK weight. And I'm not sure that that's correct for for the yarn that I'm using, but I'll talk about that more here in a second. Let me just get my pages back together. I folded it over to carry on the plane, so it's all kind of rumply jumpily now. So, so that is the pattern that I started, and The yarn that I decided to use for this is my casual wool. Everything's all stuck together. So I call this Cashel wool because I literally bought this in Cashel in Ireland. There's a little tiny woolen shop down the hill from the Rock of Cashel in County Tipperary, Ireland. And I've gotten to go to the Rock of Cashel twice. It is the ruin of an old fort slash church slash castle. Because if I remember, and to be honest, I didn't pay a lot of attention to the history, but if I remember the bits and pieces that were that I did pay attention to, it was used for a lot of different things over the course of time. But primarily, it was a church. It was a place of religious worship. And it is this gorgeous old ruin that sits on the very top of a hill in the middle of Tipperary, in County Tipperary. And at the bottom of the hill is this tiny little woolen shop, Cashel Woolens. And I had been searching all over both trips to Ireland to bring some wool back home so that I could knit. And it is surprisingly difficult to find craft supplies in Ireland, even woolen craft supplies, because primarily they make the things and you buy the things. You don't buy the yarn to make the things. And there's a lot of different things that go into that. Rachel can tell you a little bit more about it than I can, since she lives in Ireland. But it's kind of a whole thing. Like it's hard to find the supplies to make things. Most of the time you just find the already made things. So when I stumbled into this shop and she had actual yarn, and she already had it caked up and everything, I was like, yes. So I have two skeins of this beautiful purple kind of slubby yarn and that I bought on my trip with Adam to Ireland. So this was a 2019. It was my second trip to the Rock of Cashel, and probably not my first trip to that particular shop, but it was the first time that I actually found yarn, and I was so excited. And I've been trying to figure out what to do with this yarn ever since I brought it home. Well, I decided that lichen might be a good pattern to use for it, partly because this is a thicker yarn. It's, from what I can tell, it's about a DK weight. It's not quite worsted weight. And everything is all tangled. Aran weight is a little thicker, I think, than worsted weight, if I'm remembering my weights and standards correctly, which I may or may not be. But yeah, so Aran weight is a little bit thicker than worsted, and this is actually it might be worsted, but it actually the 100 grams from my convoluted measuring, which I couldn't even explain to you at this point, from my convoluted measuring. There's actually more in this 100 gram skein than would typically be in a worsted weight skein. So based on the measurements that I took, this should be a DK weight, but it's a pretty slubby thick DK. So I may actually need to go up on the needles. But here is my start. And I'll try to show it to you. There's not much here, so it's hard to tell. And I did make a mistake already. Because I was supposed to increase more than I did in this center section here. So this is the setup section. And then in this section, I didn't increase as much as I should have, so that should be a little wider. And then I've got this next section. So what I could do at this point, I don't have a lot of time invested in this, and I do think that this, the fabric that it's making is a bit thick. So what I may actually do is tear this all out and go up a couple of sizes in my needle and redo it. So I might, because that's not that much. This was, let's see, I don't know. There's Luna. This was maybe a third of a plane ride, and the first plane ride was only 3 hours, 2.5 hours. So this was less than half of a 3-hour plane ride. So it's really not much knitting at all. It's a total of 20 rows or so, but these first rows are only like 10 stitches. So to redo this would not take me much time at all. But I do think I would be happier if I had more space and you could really see what's going on there. So I'm kind of torn because part of me wants to continue on and just see how it does. But part of me is like, now is a good time to change my mind. And I don't want to change needle sizes now because that's really going to make it seem wonky, I think, if I go bigger now after I've knitted this much of it. So we'll see. We'll see. And what I could do, actually, I just happened to think, what I could do is I have a second skein because I have two skeins of these. So I could actually, on the second skein, I could start it on bigger needles and stitch to about this point and see if I like that better. That's actually, I think that's a good plan. So I might do that. I'll try some bigger needles. I'll put this one on hold. I'll try some bigger needles with the other skein and see which I prefer, and then I can rip out whichever one I don't like. I think that's what I'll do. And that way I can really see the difference and I won't lose any work that I might want. So that's my new start and my current whip. I still have Slow Cat, Secret Life of Cats and Dogs, which I may try to go ahead and finish this month just to get it off my plate. And I still also have last year's Mystery Knit Along from Casapinka. That one was called The Sharon Show. That one is not going to get done before the new August MCAL, just FYI. But yeah, and then I have a couple other incidental projects. I have a sock. I have my Empower People. What I should do, maybe for next week's Knitcast, I will just bring out all the whips that I have. So we can just do a review of the whips thus far, and see where everything is. Maybe I'll do that next week. Because I think it's better if I show it to you than I just say, oh, I have this one and no, I have that one. So as far as plans go coming up, obviously I'm going to figure out what I want to do with this, with lichen. And I probably will get started on, actually I shouldn't say plans, I should say intentions. I probably will get started on the new Casapinka knit along, and it's not a mystery knit along, it's just a knit along, and it's a mini knit along. It's called Talk to the Paw. It just released on Monday. This is that one that I've been talking about for a while, where the pattern is in collaboration with Lady Di Yarns. So Lady Di Yarns put together some kits, some mini skein kits to go along with the pattern. The pattern is a small handkerchief, not handkerchief, but like it's like a mini scarf kerchief type thing. And the reason I say that I probably will cast it on is because it does look really small. And I don't know if you can tell, I have a large neck. So something that's small, that's designed to look good on a small neck is going to look like a washcloth if I try to wear it. So I'm a little hesitant about that. I need to actually buy the pattern and look at the pattern and see what I can adjust on it, because if I can make it longer, so that it will be more proportional to me, I think that would be good. And it's just a question of whether that's going to be easy to do or not. There seems to be something, not necessarily more complicated, but some of the instructions from Sharon from Security were to follow the bind off exactly and just don't worry about it. So I don't know if that's going to be messed up if I try to make it longer or bigger. So that's a thing I have to think about. But yeah, so that's on the horizon. That's something I intend to probably start at some point. I'm really up in the air about which yarns to use now, though, because now that I've seen it and now that I'm kind of questioning, am I going to need to make it bigger, that kind of thing, I'm really kind of waffling on what mini skeins that I want to use. But it might be a great way to use these mini skeins. So these are from Rebel Woolworks. This is a grab bag of mini skeins that I bought from them, from Tara. Sorry for the crinkling. So as you can see, there's just like a whole host of different colors, lots of different fun things going on. Now, the nice thing about this, if I use 5 of these mini skeins, is that I have plenty more mini skeins that I can coordinate with whatever I choose to make that bigger if I need to. So now I'm leaning towards using these mini skeins instead of a five skein set, because if I need more yarn than the 5 skeins provide, I'm going to be kind of SOL for trying to figure out what other sets I might have to break up to fit with that set, and so on and so forth, especially if I use one of my little vicious stitches, because then I would be taking away from another color set, and yeah. So this would give me a great way to use a bunch of minis, and to also, pull in any extras that I might need. So I can start with 5, and then I can pull a couple extras that will coordinate with those, and that's going to be really great. And I don't know how well you can see these colors, but there's some great colors. So there's all these lovely corn colors. So some of these are from like the last year's fall Halloween. Michelle will have to remember, there's a wonderful name for this corn, calico corn. So this there's this lovely like calico corn color, which has got it's got just hints of blue and purple, and orange and yellow. It's great. And then this one that's more of a autumnal orangey yellow color. So some of these I think are pretty obviously from the Halloween autumn advent last year. And then this is a great one too. This one's got some blues and purples and all kinds of stuff. So there's all different kinds of, and there's different browns and stuff too. So there's lots of great colors in here. And I can get some really interesting fades and looks and stuff going. So I think I might do that, because that's going to be pretty versatile. And whatever I don't use for the Talk to the Paw pattern, I can certainly use for all kinds of other stuff. So I think that's the intention with that one. I think that will be my tentative decision. Actually, let me put it back where it belongs. Actually, pardon the crinkling. I'm gonna. Okay. So that's Talk to the Paw. And then in August, we have Casapinka's annual MCAL, Mystery Knit Along. That one is called Snarkometer. So that's going to call for 4 skeins, 4 skeins of fingering weight at like 400 yards or so, like that, the standard fingering weight. And I think what I might use for that. So I have these fabulous, and I may have mentioned this. I probably mentioned this already. So these, I probably literally just talked about it. I apologize if I talked about this in the last Knitcast. I'll keep it quick. So for Snarkometer, I might use these fabulous colors that I bought from a dyer here in Richmond. So that's tentatively my selection for Snarkometer. Now, Snarkometer comes out in August. I want to say middle of August is when that is starting. And that's going to be, I want to say it's a 6-week MCAL, Mystery Knit Along. So yeah. Really looking forward to that. It's so fun. When Casapinka and Sharon from Security host a Mystery Knit Along, it's all kinds of good time. So yeah, those are the intentions thus far for knitting. Now let's talk about some purchases, some haul, and then I will let y'all go for now. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to talk about in floss tube this week, because I've done absolutely zero cross stitching, zero cross stitching for over a week at this point. And the little bit of cross stitching that I did do before I went on vacation was all model stitching that I can't really show you. So we'll see what floss tube's going to be this week. So let's start with a dyer that you have seen on this channel before. So I got some new stuff from Treehouse Knits. Pardon the crinkling. So Treehouse Knits not only is she an indigenous dyer, Indigenous and First Nations representative dyer. She's based in Austin, Texas. Pardon me, my nose is running now. But she recently had a sale because she is switching from a from an in-stock format to a pre-order format for sets and collections with her overall system. So she had a bunch of in-stock stuff that she wanted to clear out so that she could start working on this pre-order kind of situation, which I'm all about pre-orders. I think it's great. So I bought a bunch of stuff because of course I did. Um, First and foremost, I got a couple of skeins of, this is a DK weight. This colorway is called Mermaid Tails, and it is a gorgeous, gorgeous colorway. So it's a blue-green. Y'all know how much I love my blues and my greens. All the cool colors. Like, I am not a fan in general. I mean, sometimes I like warm colors, but in general, I'm a cool color person. Purple is my favorite. Teal is my next favorite. And then blues and greens in general. So this is Mermaid Tails, a couple of DK skeins, and this is a 100% extra fine merino wool, and it's like really, it's silky, but it's really squishy and soft too. So that's going to make something fantastically gorgeous. I love the texture of this because it's just a little bit more luxurious feeling, silky feeling than most of the fingering weights that I get. So I really like that. So I got 2 skeins of DK weight because when it comes to DK, I feel like you always need at least 2 skeins. So I got some DK weight. Starting to build up my DK stash. Most, like 98% of all of this is fingering weight yarn because that's my favorite. I also got this one-of-a-kind sock set, which I thought was gorgeous. This is a fingering weight. Well, it's a sock set, so it's a sock weight. 80/20 merino nylon, and that's for both of these skeins. They're both 80/20 merino nylon. And we've got the larger skein, which is a pink speckle with some green in there, which I really, really dig. And then we've got the little green accent skein as well. So that was really cool. And then last but not least, part of the reason I got the DK in the Mermaid Tails was because she didn't have any fingering weight in the Mermaid Tails. She had one mini skein of fingering weight Mermaid Tails. And this actually doesn't even say, this doesn't say what the content is, but this looks like a high twist. Oh, it's actually got a little bit of stellina in there, so it's a slightly shiny Mermaid Tails fingering weight. So I thought I'd just throw that in with something at some point. This would probably go really well with the Little Dishes yarns. It looks like it has about the same texture, so I can toss that in with one of those at some point. So that's Treehouse Knits. Love her stuff. She has some beautiful, beautiful colorways. A lot of really natural kind of, I shouldn't say earthy tones because they're not earthy tones, but just like naturally inspired kind of colors like flowers and woodlands and ocean, kind of stuff. It's really cool. I also bought some yarn from a dyer that is new to me. So I believe one of you lovely people turned me on to this particular dyer. So when I started talking about pride and all the pride things, somebody, and I can't remember who, you can remind me if it's you, somebody mentioned to me that they were buying their pride colors from Fully Spun. And I was like, what is this Fully Spun place? I haven't heard of this place. So I went and checked them out. At the time, they were sold out of all the colors. Because I think this was right back at the beginning of June. So all the pride colors were sold out, so I couldn't buy anything then. But they recently restocked. They did a whole like restock and shop update and all this sort of stuff. So I bought all the colors. All the colors. And it turns out that Fully Spun is actually located in Virginia. They're not far from me. So I'm trying to remember. They're in where are they? Okay, it's not. It's probably on the paperwork that fell off the table. But they are in Virginia. They're a Virginia dyer and a BIPOC business, so that's fantastic. Love it. And LGBTQ friendly, if not part of the community. So checking all the boxes, man. It's really awesome. So let me show you all the fabulous yarn that I got. And I have to say, one of the things that I really love is they put it. They had obviously the shipping bag, but they put all the yarn in this handled tote, which I think is fantastic. So I'm all about things that are reusable, and this is really awesome. So let me show you all the wonderfulness. Okay, so evidently, as I was dumping the bag out, I hit something on my keyboard and I turned the camera off. So let me try again to show you all the wonderfulness that is fully spun. Um, so I got two of these colors are actually for me. Three of these colors are for my stepkid. So let me see which ones are which. Okay, so those two are mine. These three are for Kidlet. So let's see. So I got the non-binary flag. And I want to kind of preface this. These look really awesome on the website, but the pictures on the website don't do them the same justice that seeing them in person do. So if you look at the website colors and you're kind of like, oh, I don't know, just order one skein and see if you like it, because I think the colors are even more fabulous in person. So this is non-binary. So this is purple and yellow and black and a little bit of gray. So that's the non-binary flag, because stepkid is non-binary. And this is the aromantic pride flag. And this is gray and green and black. So that's aromantic because they're also aromantic. And last but not least, because they're all the alphabet things, mostly the A's. Let's see. And this is the asexual pride flag. So this is purple, gray, white, and black. So that's really, really awesome. I love these colors. So, and I'm not sure what order I'm going to ultimately knit these in, but I think what I'm going to do is find a 3-color pattern, a shawl or something that's not too feminine, but I think I'm going to knit something for them in their pride flags. And I think this is, for me, I think this is going to be really good, or at least my thought about this is it's going to be really good because it won't be super obvious what this is meant to be. And I think that that's something that they look for. Like, they want to represent, but they don't want to represent by wearing a flag, you know? They want to be a little subtle with the representation. So yeah, so I want to do some kind of scarfy kind of situation, and I want to do it in these 3 colors. And I know Casapinka has all these different kinds of patterns that are designed for 3 and 4 colors and that kind of stuff. So yeah, so that's my plan for that. That's what I'm thinking with that. So I got the 3 pride flag colors. I'm going to knit it into something awesome for Kidlet, and I think they will really enjoy that. So, and then for me, I got both the pansexual and the bisexual pride colors, because I can't quite decide which one is appropriate. I prefer the bi pride colors, but I'm not so sure that that bi is a completely accurate definition for me anymore. So I got both, because why not? Why should I start choosing now, you know? So this is the pansexual flag. So this is blue and yellow and pink. And we've got some, we've got the paler colors here. We've got some greens where the yellow and the blue have mixed. It's really, really cool looking. And then this one is my favorite. So this is the bisexual pride flag. And it's got all these great purples and pinks and blues. It's just, this is my favorite skein of all the skeins. This is my favorite. So, so I'm not sure what I'm going to use my 2 for. I may not use them together, because I'm not sure that I mean, they could go together. These pinks they kind of pick each other out, but I don't know. I don't know if I'll use them together. I haven't decided what I'm going to use them for, but I thought they were really cool. And I appreciate Fully Spun for doing all the different pride, and they do all of the prides. Like, pretty much any pride combination you can think of, they are making it. I can't remember if there's a general pride flag, like the full-on inclusive pride flag, or even the older standard pride flag. I can't remember if there's the full rainbow, but they have all the pride flags. So if that's what you're looking for in your yarn, check out Fully Spun, fullyspun.com. Love, love, love the yarn. And these are all, I got them all on the 75-25 merino nylon base. So this is their postscript fingering. is what they call this base. I got all of mine on the same base. So definitely check them out if you haven't already, especially if you are a member of the LGBTQIA2S plus community, or you know someone or love someone who is, because that's going to be something that they will really appreciate, I think. So that's more yarn that I got. And last but not least for yarn, because I have something that's not yarn to show you as well. I got my Little Bitches Stitches box in. So Fee, you might want to look away. I don't want to spoil it for you. Anybody else who gets Little Bitches, if you haven't received your box, because I just got this like a day or two ago. It literally just came in right in time for Talk to the Paw. So, and I like these colors a lot. So here we go. Look. So these are super summery, I think, and would be fantastic for the Talk to the Paw handkerchief. I'm just not certain that I want to use these because I'm afraid it won't be enough, and then I have to pull from another set to make sure that the yarn matches and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know. I'll have to use these for something else maybe. But I'm still on the fence because look how cute those colors are, and look how they these two. It's this color at the top. I'm trying not to describe the colors because I don't want to ruin it for Fee. But I like how they blend down here at the bottom. I mean, these colors are fabulous. I love it. And then look at all the fancy stuff that's in here. Some unexpected stuff going on there. So that's the 5 skein set. Let me stop waving it around so you can actually see it. And then here's the mohair. And I think, let's see. So this one's called Seashell Sand. That's the mohair for this month. And the 5 skein set is called Stuck in Malibu. Right? Right. Yeah, it's really good. And then the little gift this month, for once, I didn't really have to question whether it was food or not. Here is the gift this month. And it smells really, really good. Oh, it smells so good. Delicious. I say delicious, but it's potpourri. It's not food. Even though you might want to think that maybe you could chew on that. That's not, no, it's not food. So yeah, that's Little Bitches for June. Very happy with it once again. I'm getting quite the stash of these sparkly mini skeins. I need to actually put them all together so I can see them because they're awesome. So yeah, that's Little Bitches. Fee, you can come back if you... Maybe not. Let me close it this way because I don't want to show my address all over the internet. So yeah, so that's Little Bitches. That's really awesome. So last but not least, before I let you go, I have a really nifty thing to show you. So this is another BIPOC business that I discovered. I can't remember if I discovered her through, might have been through Lady Di, might have also been through the BIPOC Makers hashtag and the group or Instagram page. Over on Instagram. I can't remember exactly how I discovered her to start with, but recently she did a bunch of pre-orders for project bags, and these project bags were gorgeous, y'all, gorgeous. So she goes by Broke and Crafty. Maybe you can see that. I don't know if I can focus this. Oh, there we go. So she goes by Broke and Crafty. And so on Instagram, it is Broke and Crafty, all one word. I don't know if you'll be able to see this. So Broke and Crafty on Facebook or Instagram, and it's Broke and Crafty USA on Facebook. And her name is Tanita, and she does these amazing project bags and other stuff too. You have to check out her website. So let me show you the bags. I got a wedge. A drawstring wedge. Look at this pattern. Oh my gosh. Can you not, y'all? How gorgeous is that? So, of course, as soon as I saw this fabric, I was like, must have. But then look at the liner. Look at the liner. How gorgeous is that? So it actually has a pattern on it. I don't know how well you can see that, but I just love the color. So the rainbow outside and then the purple inside. How can I not? How can I not, right? And these were limited, super limited. But she did them as pre-orders, and apparently I just barely made it in on this bag, and I was so excited. Now I will say that I did what Michelle at Bendy Stitchy tends to do. I saw the post and I went and made my purchase, and then I shared with everybody else. So just FYI, you can bet that if I have shared something with you on Instagram, that I have already purchased if I plan on purchasing, because I'm not going to share it with you until I know that I have mine. It's a little selfish, but you know, it is what it is. I also got this Notions tote as well, and they were very affordably priced. It's got the purple in there as well, and the broken crafty thing. Super, super awesome. I'm very excited about it. So yeah, and this is on the smaller side, but let me get an Ever tote out just for size comparison. Okay, so this is, I believe this is Caroline's medium wedge. So you can see that Tanita's is a similar size, but slightly smaller. It's not going to hold quite as much, only because it's a drawstring instead of a zip. So that does take up some of the bag. So this is going to be a small project bag if you're working with minis or a single skein or something like that. That's the kind of thing that you want to do. I'm not sure if she has bags available right now. I know that when I purchased this, it was a pre-sale and she sold out pretty quickly. But keep an eye out, because how gorgeous is that? And the quality is amazing. I mean, this is a really heavy duty little Notions tote. It's black on the back. It's got sort of a canvas, really thick back. So this is going to be good. You could carry this as a purse if you wanted to, because that's nice and sturdy. You're not going to lose anything out of it. And it's got the lining. I can't say enough. They're fantastic. I love them. So Tanita, thank you. She messaged me to thank me for sharing the link to her pre-sale. And yeah, so she's just super nice. And I love my bags. They're fantastic. So check her out. She's going to have something amazing for you, whether she's got bags like this right now or not. But yeah, I love it. And I'm going to put my rainbow skeins in here, all my pride flag skeins in here, mostly to see how many skeins I can fit. So that's 3. If you had them caked up, you could probably put 3 or 4 skeins in here very, very easily. But I did manage to get all 5 skeins in there. They're kind of squishy, but yeah, gorgeous. Okay. So that's what I have for you today. I hope you've enjoyed everything I've had to share with you. If I can remember to do it next week, I will do a the whips thus far kind of situation with all of the whips works in progress for knitting that I currently have, and we'll see where everything is and where everything's going. In the meantime, I hope you are having the best day that's available to you, the best week that's available to you, and I hope you're all well and keeping safe. And make sure to as I always say, make sure that you are staying hydrated. Make sure to take all the meds that you need to take, and remember that you are enough. I love you all. I'll see you next time.